everybody. You did one hell of a job. And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah! How about them Cowboys?
And now, it's Talking Boys with the Boys. Now, it's Talking Boys with the Boys.
Cowboys familiar. What's up? This is Talking Boys with the Boys, and we're back again with some of that Cowboys fuego. But first, a little business. Please take a minute to share and subscribe. Leave us a rating and a review wherever you find this pod. 5 stars and a couple of sentences on why you love this pod would be greatly appreciated. And now, the conglomerate, the panel of homies. I'm your host, Adam Y, along with my co-host,
Mark D, also known as your worst nightmare.
This is Dreezy, Kingslow's answer to Danny Zuko, R.I.P. Sandy.
R.I.P. Sandy.
Grease it up, baby.
Sandy. And this is Mario, a.k.a. the Mexican Brett Maher.
Hey!
Titties, fool.
You Beta Maha. How y'all guys doing tonight, man?
Real good, man.
Good,
Real good, real good.
Hey, real quick, what is everybody drinking? I got TX in the cup.
I'm staying hydrated as usual. Electrolyte.
Already. Mario, what you got in the cup?
I got Crown Peach and Topo Chico.
Freezy?
Topo Chico.
It's something pink and fruity. It's good.
Already. And y'all already know Mark got to stay with the electrolytes. But anyhow,
Yes,
man,
sir. Yes, sir.
we got a lot of shit to get into tonight, fellas, man. So let's jump into this thing. Mark, bring us in with some Cowboys news, dog.
What's good? Cowboys Nation. Look good, feel good, pod good. Let's eat, baby. The dog days of training camp are upon us, gentlemen. Apparently, a few of the pups on this squad want to get off the porch ASAP. Today on Talking Boys with the Boys, we're going to let you know whose bark is worse than their bite and who's still peeing like a puppy.
Yeah.
On to the news. Our Cowboys are holding 2 public practices in Frisco on August 23rd and 24th. Both start at 6 p.m. inside Ford Center at the Star. The August 23rd practice doubles as Cowboys night with festivities before the action takes place. Admission is gratis. J-Ron Curse and Luke Gifford did not attend practice Monday due to lingering soreness, and both players are considered unlikely to participate in Thursday's joint practice or Saturday's exhibition at the Broncos. Although his injury is not considered severe, J-Ron, the pterodactyl Curse, is closer on the injury timetable to return than Gifford. Paging anybody with a leg. Please come to the service desk if you can kick a fucking football. Come to camp in Oxnard, baby.
Yeah.
Will McClegg told reporters Monday that the Cowboys will work out 4 new kickers to compete in camp. Brett Maher, Matt Amendola, Cole Murphy, and J.J. Molson. I think I knew one of those in high school. Well, seriously, man. Yeah. Well, looks like we've weeded through the dead legs and found one worth resuscitating. Cowboys signed kicker Brett Maher following today's workout, and rookie Jonathan, oops, I missed it again, Garabai is being waived. New kicker competition at the main stage. Hiralahu versus Maher to the main stage. And you girls be nice. No cat fighting, you 2 little bitches. Speaking of resuscitation, Kelvin Joseph is getting a chance to work with the first team defense as Trayvon Diggs sits out of Tuesday's practice with a groin issue before heading to the the Broncos, for Thursday's joint practice. Ding, ding, Cowboys training camp has officially gotten chippy. Reportedly, a tussle between left guard Connor Tyler Smith took my job McGovern and rookie nose tackle John the White Silverback Ridgeway set a big boy tone for today. Apparently, Coach Eminem did his damnedest to continue the enthusiasm by shouting at players in crucial red zone scoring periods and executing as many mojo moments as possible, baby.
Yeah. The
last padded practice in Oxnard is scheduled for Tuesday. The first time our boys get to knock heads with another team will be this Thursday as we travel to Denver. So we'll see how this goes, gentlemen.
All right, man. Well, I want to discuss, man. We got some things to discuss, man. So I want to discuss the newly acquired player we got, man. We haven't had a chance to discuss The bar, baby.
Baby,
The bar, baby.
the bar, baby.
So yeah, man,
Well,
I want to run down real quick what the Barr signing means to this defense, dog.
Well, from my end, it means maybe one of two things.
Mm-hmm.
There's a positive. I mean, it is a positive and a negative to it, because when you look at the deal itself, I think he was asking for like 9 to 10 million, 12 million possibly at the beginning of free agency.
Yeah.
And what he was asking for is not what he got here. Okay. So when you look at him and you look at what that means, what does that mean? That means that maybe his knee isn't exactly what it once was, or what everybody thought it was coming into free agency. So he fell a little bit further back. I mean, we see him on PUP, right? So that's good insurance for the linebacking core, and it's somebody that could come in and take a starter's role. But I just hope it doesn't lead to something else, because Jabril Cox has been sitting out from some of these practices, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Jabril, it was what, 2 in a row? Was it 2 in a row where he sat completely out?
Yeah. I believe it was 2 in a row. I think he was back today with a brace, fully braced up on that knee he had surgery on as well. So, but
you see, the thing about that is in rehab, when a guy gets back on the field, you're basically letting him go, letting him run. You don't think there's going to be any, ramifications of what he's doing.
Yeah.
You're like, good, no swelling, let's go. If he does sit out for a little bit, it could be some structural issues, man. I mean, you don't want to have anything after that. And the guy gets bigger, stronger, faster, but that also comes with more weight on those ligaments that were injured before. So, I mean, very well, they could be knowing something we don't about Jabril Cox. I don't want to put that out there, but at the same time, when he sits out repetitively, and let's say he just has soreness, well, soreness isn't exactly what I'm looking for when I want this guy to come in and be bigger, faster, and stronger than last year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So Anthony Barr is a little bit of insurance from that standpoint, but he's also, when he comes in, he has a pedigree to him. Not just from the draft, but what he's done in the NFL to this point. If you put him out there, you got LBE out there. So in combination, I think you have about 6 Pro Bowls and 2 All-Pros between those 2 linebackers right there. So he does have some pedigree in doing what we're going to ask him to do in this defense. So Mario, there were some pretty good numbers, I mean, that he put out right before he got injured with that knee issue, wasn't it? I mean, they were asking him to do some pretty interesting things, wasn't it?
Definitely, man. With the Vikings, before he started having injury issues in like 2019, he had like 4 or 5 straight Pro Bowls. Yeah. I mean, he was a top linebacker in this league. And I really like the signing, first of all, because you're signing an 8-year vet who had the C on his chest, man. He was a captain with the Vikings all those years since he was drafted in 2014. So you're bringing leadership to this defense. Yeah. And you're bringing depth to a position that has had some injury issues. You got LVE with his neck issues. He's hit or miss. He finished the season pretty good last year, but can we really count on him? He's just on a 1-year deal. Jabril Cox, we're already seeing what is going on with his knee and the swelling and having to miss practice. And you got guys behind him, rookies, plus, you got a vet, Luke Gifford, who was on and off the practice squad, but he's had his injury issues as well. So what Anthony Barr brings to this Dan Quinn defense is something that Dan Quinn covets, and that's adaptability. That's being able to play a bunch of different spots. Yeah. So if you look at Anthony Barr's career, you can line him up on the edge to play the run in a 2-point or a 3-point stance. He has 39 tackles for loss and 8 forced fumbles in his career from off the edge. All right. You can put him to rush a passer. He has 17.5 career sacks, 44 quarterback hits. You can put him to play the pass. He has 5 career interceptions, 3 of which came last season in his injury-shortened 11-game season. So what I see from that is you see what he's done from 2014 until 2018, midway through 19, before he started having injuries. Yeah. And then to come back in 2021 for just part of the season, for me, that means he's an 8-year vet, but he's still an improving player. So we got somebody that can come in here, has got a chip on their shoulder, because, like you said, Mark, he wanted $12 million a year, and nobody was even sniffing at him for that. Yeah. And Dallas signed him for a $2 million base salary, possibly 3. So he's not used to this position that he's in, and he's really got something to prove for this Cowboys defense. And the main thing he's going to do for us, besides that versatility and that adaptability, is he frees up our line. He frees up Michael Parsons to go and hunt as he pleases out there in the African savannah, man. He's going to be hunting quarterbacks. Hunting quarterbacks, taking them down. Yeah. So Barr's a good signing for this defense, and it's just another tool in Dan Quinn's offense. Defense.
Well, for me, was a home run. If I was to grade it on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give him like an 8. I mean, it has the potential, just to be the difference between being a really good defense and a goddamn great top 3 defense. He's a leader. He's a 9-year vet. He's been in the wars.
Mm-hmm.
He's familiar with George Edwards. He wanted to play for Dan Quinn, and what he allows Micah to do is roam free, and him and Tank and even Diggs can be more of the leaders of this defense, and Kurtz and Barr can just do his thing right there in the middle, be a leader, be a warrior, and do kind of the dirty work, and let Micah, the real destructive force, just run free and do what he does, which is probably going to get 20 sacks, right? So,
and that's what we're hoping anyway, man. 20 sacks, man. I asked this question earlier on Twitter, man. Well, not on Twitter. I'm sorry, fellas. On IG at Talking Boys with the Boys podcast on IG, the official Talking Boys with the Boys page, man. I asked, man, what this sophomore season is going to bring. How many sacks is the line going to have? I think the guy's hunting for somewhere upwards of maybe 18 to 20, dog. And I hope he does it, man, because if he does that, man, this defense is really, really humming, man, really humming. But let me segue to this, though. I got to chime in on this, man, because I was thinking of something the other day, man, and we're all hearing the reports, right? We're hearing the reports of Trayvon and Curse and Brown and Hooker, man, have reportedly they've been balling out, contrary to the one-on-ones and people getting cooked misnomer that's going around, man. Is this secondary, dog, now a top 3 unit for the Dallas Cowboys, dog?
Yes, definitely. Ooh. And I mean, when you go from being the weakest point of the defense maybe 2 years ago under Nolan to being one of the strengths of the defense. Well, you know what's really cool about this defense? Because yes, there's an aspect of this. We talk about the DBs in every level. You go from Trayvon to AB, who had an underrated season last year, coming into having the best camp out of anybody. Yeah, including the president, Tyron, Dak. They're talking about Anthony Brown as having the best camp out of anybody. So when I'm looking at that, and you got somebody across from him who has all pro potential because he's already done it once, and then you look at the safeties, Hooker has pedigree to him. I mean, he produced in college with the best of them, and then he, got to be early first round pick and did a few things, early in his career in the pros, and we got him on cheap and, on a prove it deal. Now, J-Ron, what we understand is just covering everything.
Everything.
He's like a virus out there, bro. He just covers everything, man.
This guy, out of control, dog.
And you call that boy COVID, right? He's on everything. Dog. But on that sense, though, bro, he is. I say this could be a top 3, secondary. But I also look at the defense as a whole. When you go back to the next level, right? You go to the next level. Okay, so linebackers, and we just discussed the importance of Anthony Barr. We got LVE, who has been having another amazing camp that people are talking about. They said one of the best camps since he was an All-Pro, right? So you got that out there, and you got, of course, Micah. So when you get to the level of the linebackers, you're going, well, shit, is that top 5, 10 potential? Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Then you go to the D line, and you're like, whoa, okay, so I'm not being delusional here. Am I really drinking the Kool-Aid, or what's going on here, right? Because the D line looks like it might be the strength of the whole thing.
Yes.
Hey, Tristan Hill is getting Tyrone Crawford comparisons right now, guys.
That's right.
Yeah. Hey, and last episode, man, he was one of our bubble guys. We were like, man, get that guy out of here, dog. I mean, yeah.
I mean, the way it is, though, when you look at these guys, it's not like he didn't have the talent to play in the NFL. He was a second round pick.
Yeah. Facts,
when you look at what they were talking about with him, he just had some shit off the field that he had to get in line, and then he didn't really have a work ethic. Well, you get out there, you get your ass whipped enough, you get your job, threatened on you, and maybe you can compartmentalize and get out there and show something. Fucking Kelvin Joseph.
Yeah, it's also a contract year for Tristan Hill, man. You know what I mean?
That's very true. So
man. When guys in their contract year, man, I expect that for some of the guys this year, man. Tony Pollard's in his contract year. I mean, guys in their contract year tend to show up and show out, man. So hopefully that helps us down the stretch.
Well, it's because money doesn't talk; it fucking screams.
Yeah, facts, dog. Facts.
Considering how players play in contract years, is Stephen Jones like a sneaky genius by giving out all these 1-year deals, and guys get chips on their shoulders and they decide they got to ball out to get a bigger contract, whether it's with Dallas unlikely, or at other places.
You know, Mario, but that's the thing, though, because we've talked about it. We went on other people's shows and talked about it, how the Twitter narrative has been, you know, what the fuck are the Cowboys doing? Oh, my God, they're just fucking free agency up. And then you look at the end of it and you're like, okay, so all these guys that we got on the cheap are producing in camp, and they're also talking about this being the camp where we've seen the most depth at each position in maybe 3 or 4 years.
Yeah,
they're talking about that too. So when you look at Stephen Jones, I know we all like to judge this, and there's this whole weird phenomenon that goes on with it because people side with the players, right? How dare you lowball them like that? How dare you offer this guy that? And then we sign them for that lowball, and it helps our team out. And then where do their feelings go with it? You know, because then it's then it's oh, wait a minute, wait, was that good business? Yeah, it was damn good business. It was really fucking good business.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
You know, I mean, look at Anthony Barr, what he wanted at the beginning of free agency and compared to what we just gave him. Now he'd have to have a fucking no knee to take a $10 million, cut on that end. So,
yeah, absolutely.
That, yeah. So, you know, going back to the original question, is the secondary top 3? I would argue yes. And on the surface, it's easy for people to say, well, it's kind of illusion, right? Because this defense was so horrendous under Mike Nolan in 2020 that any sort of improvement is going to look great. When you look at the numbers and what secondary did last season, they led the league in 26 interceptions. Mm-hmm. And of those 26 interceptions, 22 of those were by members of the secondary.
Yeah.
Right? Of course, it's a little bit bloated by Trayvon's 11 picks. But even if you give them, you know, a normal amount of like 6 to 7, that secondary would still be number 1 in the NFL in interceptions over all the other teams. So,
hey, real quick, 6 or 7. I mean, that's how many picks were dropped last year as well, dog.
Exactly, which is stunning from a former receiver. But imagine what he could have done had he pulled all of those in.
Anthony Brown as well. You know, Anthony Brown as well. He dropped what, about 4 or 5, something like that.
He did. And Mark, you said best. You know, Anthony Brown is playing lights out. And what I'm getting at here is, look how well they played last season in only the first season of Dan Quinn's defense.
Yeah.
So when defense is really falls on how quickly you react, right? So last year, you know, they go through the off season. They're still learning the defense through the season. And a split second can mean the difference between a touchdown given up and an interception. Yep. So now these guys know the defense. They've been in there a full year plus another offseason already. So now all instinct. So as fast as they will react last season to create turnovers and pass breakups and get to the ball carrier and get to the receiver, it's going to be that much faster this season now that they're used to Dan Quinn's defense.
But Dan Quinn does something different with that, Mario, and he showed it in Seattle. And what he likes to do is he likes to build on the success of what he had the previous season with his defense. He'll leave certain things the same way. But if you notice towards the end of the season, what we started to see out of that defensive line was stuff we didn't see early on. Now, granted, DeMarcus Lawrence came back, Neville Gallimore came back, but we'll have that at the beginning of the season. And if you guys remember, the defensive line was in a stand-up position a lot of the times towards the end of the season. You know, a couple games there, you know, what I like to call an amoeba type of defense, where you don't really know who's coming and who's dropping, or if everybody's coming.
Facts.
You know, so it's going to be really interesting, Mario, because what happens with these type of defenses in this sense, that's why you want to keep the defense coordinator in-house, because it builds on itself from season to season. Sometimes these guys, we've talked about it, sometimes they blow it up and try to do something else the next season. But Dan Quinn's a type to build on what he had before. So I really think we're going to see some of the things that, they're going to play faster because they understand the schematics of it. But there's also going to be some things some very exotic looks that we didn't see from last season as well, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
I love exotic women. I
The guys on there: Tank, Dorrance, Sam Williams, the rookie. Fowler, we got Micah doing it part-time. I got Dak as our second strongest unit. I don't need to explain that. And I got our secondary as our third. You know, like I said, Brown's been lighting it up. We got Lewis. We got Brown, who's having his best camp. Diggs, 11 picks last year. Hello. You know, we got Curse. We got Hooker. We got depth. We got depth like we really haven't had in a long time, guys. So I think right now it is our third best unit. And I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the year, it's probably our best. I mean, I really want our pass rush to be our best unit because I think that wins games. Get after the quarterback gets sacks, turnovers. But I wouldn't be surprised if our secondary just lights it up again, even more than they did last
year. They feed off each other too. Those two are like
twin
situations. The defensive line and the secondary. If you have good units in those two senses, I mean, you're in for a pretty good season.
Absolutely. I never thought we'd just be here powwowing about the DBs, man, balling the way they are, dog. But I mean, we ran it down, dog. All pro guy, man. 11 picks last year, dog. I mean, the only thing he needs to add to his game now is shutting this shit down. And guys, let's not forget, dude. Scary Terry didn't do shit. Devontae Smith didn't do shit. I mean, you can run down the list, dog, of guys he shut down last year, dog. Contrary to what these fucking haters are talking about, dog. You know what I'm saying?
But not even from that sense. We talk about the DBs, we're talking about the starting DBs, but I've heard really good things about the second team. I mean, Izzy Mukamu,
he's doing something.
Bell.
Yep.
I've heard some really good things about these big guys that are prototypical to this defense. And what does that mean? Does it mean they're going to take some job?
Deron Bland is out balling, man. It's one of my guys, one of my pit cats, man. So yeah,
when you have guys that are doing that, then the next man up mentality is a real thing. It's not just coach speak.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. All right, man. Well, let's move on a little bit, man. We've been hearing a lot of reports also coming out of camp about pre-snap motion going on and guys moving around and 21 personnel. You got Zeke out there, you got Tony out there, you got things happening, man. Pre-snap, man. I just want to ask you guys, man, are y'all buying into this report, man? And do y'all think it'll translate to the season, or do y'all think what? Y'all think they're just fucking with us?
Well, from my standpoint, man, I think that it could be a little of both, and I think there is a little of both. But this part early on in camp, I think that it some people might view that as, well, this early on, I think they just could be teasing us a little bit. But first off, they don't give a fuck about what we think of as fans. First off,
those are facts, bro.
Okay, I hate it when people say that. Like, oh, they showed us that, but they're just showing it to make us happy. Why would they give a fuck to make you happy?
You happy? Yes, dog.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why would they give a fuck? It's a little self-importance there. Yeah, I really think what they're doing now is an install. It's an install period. They show things early on because they want to get the people in the right positions for what they're going to be running. I mean, there's certain aspects of this offense that have been pretty prevalent over the past couple of years that won't be here. One being a toss to a wide receiver lining up next to the quarterback, and he chucks it down the field to somebody else. Cedric Wilson's not here anymore. So you don't have that play in the playbook anymore. And then if you look at Noah Brown, when you look at what he's been able to do this season, I mean, this offseason in camp right now, when people just look at the receiving aspect of it, they got to remember there's another part that we're not thinking about. That's the fact that even before Cedric Wilson got burned, Noah was getting burned. Yeah. Noah got a lot of playing time, and he was in offensive schemes regarding how good of a blocker he is. Yeah. So when you look at it, you're going, okay, so he's a receiving threat now? Yeah, man. And when you add that to what he's responsible for in the run game, we're looking at maybe something pretty important in that sense. And they want to go through an install period with that. So you got Noah in there, you got TP in there. I've heard actually from the limited time that he's seen there. Now, look, we ain't got no Kool-Aid. I ain't got nothing over here. But that Zeke has looked as good as Tony Pollard, bro.
Yeah. I've seen the videos, man. Jump cuts, everything's looking good, man. Yeah, facts, bro.
And in the install period right now, if they're demonstrating stuff like Tony Pollard lining up in the slot or putting Zeke out wide and bringing Noah into the backfield as a personal protector for Dak, hey, I'm with it. And I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, yeah, but show me if you're doing it in the second or third season. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up with that bullshit.
Yeah.
So I think it could be a flash or something. I really do.
For me, I take too much stock of what goes on in the public practices and training camp, right? So I do think Mark has a point. Kellen Moore, he's not doing it just because. He's not doing it just because people were in his ear last year, all over Twitter and all over social media, ESPN and all NFL Network and all that stuff. That why doesn't he use pre-snap motion? So he's doing it for a reason. Now, do I trust him to actually carry that into a season? Probably not. But like Mark said, they don't give a fuck what we say. No. They're not doing it. They're not doing it because, well, Cowboys Nation says that we're not doing that motion, so let's
such
show
and
them
such
a little
said.
bit.
Hey,
Such said on Twitter.
I can already see. Hell yeah, I can already see Kellen Moore going. Okay, jet sweep to the left. Hey, Dak self. You know what? I remember that dude on Twitter saying I got to do some sort of shit to the right.
I remember Mark D said we got to run a triple.
Hey, Mark D said we got to do something to the right. So I really got to put that out there. So they can be happy with it. He gonna do those shit like that.
No, man. Yeah.
The only time that I remember the Cowboys even got a shred of that, and I can still picture this in my head. Bill Parcells, back before Quincy Carter. I think our quarterbacks were Chad Hutchinson and Chad Henne, right? And everybody, you know, Hutchinson wasn't playing that great, and everybody wanted Chad Henne, and they're like, you got to play Chad Henne, you got to do this. And he went in there in the first half of the game and threw like 3 interceptions, and he didn't score any points. And after the game, Parcells up on the podium, and he's like, you guys wanted the kid? You got the kid.
Yeah.
Right?
You know what, though?
Everybody saw.
With that, though, you know, when I'm hearing about Tony Pollard, we're hearing like that he looks like a fucking machine right now. I mean, we're hearing about he looks like physically, he's midseason form, all these types of things. Maybe that would go towards giving him more opportunities in the scheme. Because when you're a coach and you've got like a star player out there, maybe you're viewing him a different way than you were in the past in certain senses. Because you'll take him out in packages and you'll put him in packages. Anyway, so... But sometimes with a player that's like that, that's like Dez Bryant, like it doesn't matter the package, you just leave him in no matter what. If we see a little bit of that from the Tony Pollard end, maybe. Because he is in a contract year too, right?
Well, for me to believe in Kellen Moore, right? I got that, you know, and see this class right here, full. So that's pretty much how I look at the Cowboys offense right now today. I'm not saying there's going to be that week 1, but today, my faith in Kellen Moore, it's like this glass because he just showed us too many times last season. Him and that Mike, they both together. They showed us too many times. They got out coached, out dunked, out everything, right? And I know the points, I know the yards, I know what we did in offense on paper, but we all watched the games. We all watched the same games. We all saw that offense, you know, just at times not do what it was supposed to do. And I really put a lot of that on Kevin Moore and the play calling. Yes, Dak did regress. Yes, the line was a mess. I get that. But to me, Kellen Moore and Fat Mike, a lot falls on them. And Fat Mike, man, he just doesn't take ownership for what goes wrong. And that's right? He is a boss. He's not a leader. Think about that. It makes sense. He's a boss. He's not a leader, man. He doesn't need a goddamn thing. And that's really the problem.
You're right, man. No, you're exactly right, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we've already heard that from Mike McCarthy's end. He's already given like precursors to him even trying to. I mean, even this season already, he's already planted little seeds in the sense of trying to give his excuses. I mean, what did he say? You know, that's again he doubled down on that's Kellen and Dak thing. You know, the
I would love but he said he did. I would love to call plays, but that's Kellen. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, Mike, I got you, buddy.
That sounds like the stripper going, I'd love to be on the main stage, but they let Diamond up there. They don't let me up there because, they don't want me to take business away from the side tables. You know what I'm saying? They don't want me to take business away from the side. Shut your bitch ass up.
Yeah.
Facts, if you could dance, you be on the main stage. Dance, you be on the main stage.
Yeah.
We all know that the real fun happens on the side stages, though. Y'all know
Facts.
I know that. I know that.
This guy.
Did you say the raw fun happens in backstages? Is that what you said?
Y'all guys are out of control, dog. These guys are out of control, everybody. All right, man. Well, let's move on, dog. Since we're talking about pre-snap motion, and we're throwing wide receivers out there that are involved in this stuff as well, man. Ceedee said some things about a week ago, right? He said he's not opposed to vet help, and that he really likes what we have in the young receiving room. Have y'all seen enough for this statement to be true?
Man, that was an interesting statement because when Jerry says it, you just think that he needs to take his Aricept and go to sleep. When Jerry says something like that, right?
Thanks,
but
bro.
when you got Ceedee saying that, I mean, there is a sense like some people might go, well, I mean, he doesn't want anybody to come and threaten him for his job. Dog, Ceedee has no problem with his job or targets. Okay, he ain't gonna have nobody coming to fuck with his job. He might really believe this, and then when you see some of what's going on, right? So you piece things together. It's like a puzzle. Well, Noah Brown looks like he's having one of the best camps everybody talking about, right? Simi, I know one-on-ones, we're not making big things about it, but it also lets you know he ain't just a Jag anymore. You know, he's not just the guy anymore. I've seen some catches, not just what they showed on Trayvon. It's not like I'm trying to preach on that. I've seen some end zone, back of the end zone, nice grabs. I've seen him going downfield. I mean, the boy is about 6'3", 6'4" with a 4.4 40.
Well, you know, I mean, all of the tools that we heard about Simi, man, the deep threats, the speed, the size, man, the winning the contestant throws. I mean, we're seeing it right now, dog. It's wild. It's wild to me, man, because right before the season started, what were we saying, Mark? Walk your ass to the tight end room. Yeah. Now he seems like, you know, I mean, and I seen this earlier as well, dog. Somebody said it might have been Hellman, dog. I think he said something to the effect like he needs to be out there with the ones and the twos, man, because the threes have no chance with this guy, man. This guy is blowing everybody out the water right now. I'm glad he's showing what he can do and what we saw coming out of Stanford, man. You know what I mean? So I mean, the guy, like you said, the guy was it a 4.43 or 4.4 or 4.3? You know what I'm saying?
4.42, something like that. Yeah. But, you know, the same thing is, it's not like you have to. It's not like saying he could go to the tight ends room is necessarily just a relegation to make him do something else. Could you imagine a stretch the field tight end who runs a 4.4?
Hey, my boy Dreezy's nipples getting hard over there. When you talk about tight ends, baby. Yeah.
I mean, you think about that. Y'all think about that, right?
Dalton Schultz.
When you look at what he did to Trayvon, when you look at what was going on with that, we're not trying to make big deals about it, but could you imagine if that was a linebacker in front of him?
Facts, dog. Facts. I mean you let a guy with that kind of speed get behind any defense.
He's not a little dude.
That's a walk-in touchdown every single time, man. That's the Deshaun Jackson type shit, bro. Unaccounted for. All of a sudden, he's fucking in the middle of the field, 40 yards behind the goddamn defense, bro. Touchdown. Like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying?
Dennis Houston's intriguing, too. I mean, that's an intriguing name that people have been talking about. Yep. I haven't heard that he's a burner or anything like that. I just heard that he kind of does everything good and everything well. So
Dak's favorite receiver so far in camp.
Yeah, it looks like Dak trusts him. He trusts him in the spot that he's supposed to be in. You know, he might not be his first read on a play, obviously, with Ceedee on the field. If he looks to his second, third reads, and Houston is there. Yeah. So as far as Ceedee's comments about this young group being ready, I mean, you expect from a player, right? He's got to endorse his teammates. Mm-hmm. But if you really look at it, what were we just talking about earlier about this secondary being like top 3, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So when these guys are flashing, we're not talking about one-on-one drills. We're talking about the 11-on-11 first offense versus first defense. You know, driving down the field, and these guys are making plays. You know, we talk about FUEGO. There's a reason we drafted him last year for all these traits that he has, and he's showing those traits. It looks like he's grown into this in his second season. He's becoming the guy that Dallas wanted last season. Yeah, when they took him, and you got this undrafted free agent, and Dennis Houston. He's showing up. He's in the right spot at the right time. Noah Brown lost 15 pounds, I think they said.
Yeah, about 10, 15 pounds. Yep.
So he's actually
coming out
his quickness.
Yeah.
He's showing his quickness now. Mm-hmm. He's showing his quickness. He's showing his speed. And I listened to the Cowboys media mashup today with Yeomans, Rob Phillips, and Mickey Spags, and they were talking about how Noah Brown is finally getting an opportunity to actually be a part of this offense and not just be one of the receivers that they want to block. So they made it seem like the Cowboys were the ones that wanted him to stay at 230 pounds because they wanted to use him only in certain packages. So
I mean, what is it year 3 real quick, year 3 or year 2 where they were talking about him putting on weight, maybe becoming a tight end.
They used to mistake him for Des Bryant, remember?
Yes, dog. Yep. Yes, bro. I remember that.
I think Ceedee honestly is just being a good little soldier with these comments. I really do. Because what's he supposed to say? Nah, we're looking kind of weak. I really wish they bring someone in. Right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, he's supposed to say that. Because I think he's taking on more of a leadership role. This is going to be his third season. Coop's gone. Lamb is by far and away our number one target. I think he's trying to be a leader. So, like I said, I think he's saying what he's supposed to say, right? Because if he says anything else, it's good headlines. Ceedee's saying that they need help. Ceedee's saying that the young guys can't step up. No, he's being a good little soldier, and he's saying what he's supposed to say. He's taking a leadership role, in my opinion.
And it very well could be, very well could be. But you look at what he has said in the past with certain things, like he's taking the lead dog role with this offense. I mean, in the receiving core as well. And a good problem to have is to try to figure out if that's Dennis Houston or if that's Noah Brown doing that or if that's Dak throwing them open. Because guess what? It's a good fucking thing either way.
Either fucking way. Facts.
I mean,
and dude, I mean, they're looking really well, man. Or the receivers, man. Or I don't know, dog. I mean, let me ask you this real quick. What's better out there? What's on the menu, man? You look at the menu, the free agency menu right now. If you're not going to trade for somebody and lose picks and try to get somebody right now, I mean, there's really nobody out there. I mean, everybody's clamoring for OBJ. OBJ is going to start the season on PUP. You know what I'm saying? Will Fuller is fast as fuck, but he has drop issues. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead. Big bro, there's something we're not even discussing with that sense because we talked about how good these DBs are. We talked about how good J-Ron Curse is.
Yeah.
But there's somebody they're not able to keep up with. That's Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz has, I've heard uncoverable. I've heard get open when he wants to. I heard do whatever he wants to do in this offense. Yep. So when you look at that and you look at what they're talking about from the receiving core, is it more of early on free agency type shit where we're clamoring for something as fans, but then in the end, if we don't get it, is it really that big of an impact?
Man, this fan base is always clamoring for something, bro. You know that.
I mean, it is, man. So you tell me, like we talk about it, right? And I don't hear reports coming out of camp right now going, shit, man, these dudes are dropping like flies. We need people on the second and third team so that we can run our offense. Because that's what I was worried about. That's the main aspect I was worried about. When you start having receivers that aren't there, James Washington, Michael Gallup. But that's not what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that they're getting opportunities and they're capitalizing those opportunities. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has turned how many, freaking receivers from no names into contract worthy. And I mean, we all talk about how good Dak Prescott is. Well,
he did it for Sam.
Could he be that type of quarterback now as well?
Absolutely. He did it for Said. He's done it for Dalton. Dalton got goddamn franchise tagged. So let's go, man. I mean, so I don't think we have to wait too long. I think James Washington might be back. He might be back in week 2, maybe week 3, something like that. Michael Gallup, we'll probably see him week 3. So, man, as long as some of these guys like Simi, Dennis Houston, even Noah Brown knows the system, man.
James Washington, is it a full Liz Frank? Did they say it was the diagnosed as a Liz Frank? Because I didn't see if it was or not. Because if it was diagnosed as a Liz Frank, he's 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay, all right.
6 to 8 weeks.
Well, he's
probably on the 8 week.
Probably on the 8. Yeah, that's right. He was. Yeah, that Jones fracture, definitely.
Yeah.
So he's on the latter part of the healing process. So 8 to 10 weeks. Something like that.
He'll come back and do a few things mid-season, maybe catch a few things, but his career as a Cowboy is probably done.
Absolutely.
For next season.
All right, man. We're moving on into training camp, man. I want you guys to give me someone you're high on and someone you're low on in the 10 days of training camp so far.
Okay, that's a really good question. I mean, I got to bite my tongue. I'm high on Noah Brown, man. Sorry, Drizzy.
Let's go.
Sorry, Drizzy.
Noah Brown.
It's just the things and it's not just what people are saying. We watch tape on these guys. We're not at camp, so we can't see things live, so other people can. But at the same time, we can see what we're looking at. And at the same thing, I see something a little different. I see somebody that's completely fluid in his routes right now.
Yeah.
He can run any route on the route tree that you need him to run. He's familiar with the offense to the point to where, let's say they deviate away from what they're implementing right now, he can easily pick it up because he has the basics of what the offense is. So I think that bodes well for him on top of other receivers. You know, even when Michael Gallup comes back, he has a skill set that he's able to contribute with. And we'll see how he and Tolbert, you know, fight for some minutes. But I think, you know, I like that.
Yeah, real quick, let me go. Someone I'm high on. I mean, I know you ain't giving the person you're low on, but since we're talking about high, fellas, someone I'm high on or something I'm high on that's really come to fruition today, really, was the Dak to Ceedee connection. It was unstoppable today if you saw training camp. If you saw the clips from training camp and you heard the reports, I mean, the Dak to Ceedee connection was crazy, dog. Crazy. Now that's what you want to see, man. You really want to see that connection thrive, and I think it's going to carry over to the season, man. Look what CD's done so far, and Dak is, man, like I said, man, he's just that guy, man. To me, man, he ascends, man, when the time comes, man. So
the guy that I'm really going to watch in preseason, the guy, because when I watch preseason games, you're not going to watch it from the beginning to the end and sit there and really hope for somebody to win, because they work on so many different things in game. The guy that I'm really going to watch and be pulling for to see if he knows what he's doing, Turbin, because from the looks of it, they're giving him the job. It looks like he's the only one who's back there taking punts. I mean, there's a few others, but we look at the measurables. We see the 4.3. We see all these. You know, I even put the comparison out there, Tyreek Hill, as far as measurables concerned. But guess what? If the motherfucker can't field a punt, he can't catch it to get the fuck down the field.
Facts.
Okay, so we'll see exactly how that's going to go from that end.
All right, fellas, someone you're high on.
Well, somebody I'm high on actually is LVE, man. Everything coming out of this campus, you know, they're talking about how he's kind of returned to that 2018 form in his rookie season when he was an All-Pro.
Yeah.
You know, that neck injury really derailed him, and I think it was mental. And I don't blame the guy. I mean, if you got a neck injury that, you know, you're almost paralyzed, would you go out there and be reckless with your body like you were before and throw yourself around and be trying to hit these, you know, 220-pound running backs? I wouldn't.
Yeah, facts. You know, I wouldn't either.
It looks like he's gotten a lot of confidence back, and that started towards the end of last season. And maybe his role in Dan Quinn's defense has a lot to do with that. But LVE, all reports out of camp are showing that he's flashing that All-Pro talent that we know he has from that All-Pro 2018 season. So I'm really looking forward to what he can do alongside Anthony Barr, alongside Parsons, alongside Jabril Cox. And you know, having that depth on the
Cox.
I think you said long time Cox.
Alongside
loving long time Cox is what he said.
The Cowboys are going to unveil a long Cox package.
A long Cox package. That's what he said. He said a long Cox package.
Yeah,
that's what I was like, Cox y todo. There's a few things to be. I mean, you know, the positive to this is there's a lot to be happy about.
Yeah, there is. This could be an obvious answer, and our beautiful host already took it. I'm high on Dak. I know people can say, why are you high on Dak? You know, this is what he's supposed to be doing. But honestly, man, I mean, he lost his number one target from last year, Coop, right? He's playing behind a makeshift offensive line. Like he's not coming into this training camp with everything set, everything roses, everything just all I gotta do is show up, just boom, boom, boom. Well, like, he has a lot to work with. I mean, he has a lot to do because what he has to work with, I should say, is not as great as everyone wants to see. Because people still say he has one of the best offensive lines of football. No, he doesn't. No, he does not. Besides Lamb, who is he throwing to? Tyler Schultz there, he's a tight end. So to me, I'm really high on that. To me, the leadership that Dak has shown this offseason and the previous offseasons, he just keeps doing his thing. The guy I'm low on is the guy I really said 2-3 weeks ago that I thought was going to do his damn thing, and that was Terrence Steele, right? And it's still early. I know it's August 9th, right? So a month out from week 1. But Terrence Steele, man. Terrence Steele. should be looking better. I thought he looked better than what he is. I know Mark's nipples are hard. I mean, it's still early. It's still early. I see that beautiful head of yours. It's still early, but Terrence still needs to pick his shit up.
Yeah.
Down my money. It's not that bad. It's just careful.
Who said it's just?
Nah, you're right.
It is.
No. I mean, there's two sides to it. You're right. It is camp, but at the same time, I have that view that I look at individual drills, not one-on-ones with DBs, and shit like that. But I look for different stuff, and I look at that more than I actually look at the preseason games. To be honest, preseason games are times for dudes to get shine, sometimes for other teams. To be honest with you, the guy that's my low point is the fucking CP that I was hoping for a lot of promise with. The motherfucker that likes to be around. Yes, dog. the fucking shit, dog.
Yeah.
Like I'm so hard on the kid because you see it. You see this. You see what he has the talent to be, and then you can see him not even locking in with it. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if there is anything going on with him. I know it's not physical, but I do know that this motherfucker's not locked in up here. And so we got long cocks, and we got, you're high on crack or high on dick? What'd you say? Just fucking with you, dog.
Yeah, high on deck. High on deck. Hey, but through all that, Dreezy, it sounded like you said I was high on dick way.
I was like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, you're high on crack or high on dick?
I did. I did say that.
Yeah, man. One of the guys. One of the guys I'm high on right now, dog, is definitely what I said, the connection with Ceedee and Dak. But one of the things I'm low on. I don't want to go with guys, man, but it's the tackle position, man. It really is. I know people are clamoring for a swing tackle. We need a swing tackle. We need a swing tackle. I just want a tackle who can play left side and right side, dog. And if something happens to Steele or to Tyron, they can come in and fortify that as a second guy to come in and hold it down for at least a moment while the guy is out, man. But I mean, swing tackle, man. I'm getting tired of a swing tackle, man. But yeah, I'm low on that right now, dog, because I don't think Josh Ball's putting out. Well, let's go is Dunsky's. I don't think he was ever going to pan out, anyways. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I'm low on the tackle position. The backup.
You know what I'm really
position.
What I stated in my low end or my high end, it was something that I was trying to get something that's not an obvious high end, but my obvious high end is the progress of Tyler Smith, guys. I mean, let's be honest here.
Mm-hmm.
Not fucking with you about it, Dreezy. Not at all. About another thing I was right about, homie. Okay? We'll just stop on that one. But the progress of Tyler Smith, man, because you got guys who are talking about, I mean, you got Kyle Yeomans out there saying that day after day, this kid is impressing more and more. Yeah. I mean, that is just beautiful to hear about what we all thought or didn't think about him. Damn, being right, being wrong, who the fuck cares? Seeing this guy progress from what they're saying him to progress to, I know you love it, Dreezy. I know, That's what I'm saying, dog. We're, at the end, we all talk the same shit. It's just some of us are a little more right than others.
Ah, this guy out of control. Cat dad.
I can echo Mark being low on Kelvin Joseph, because all the expectations that we had for him. But I'm gonna stick with the theme of today, which is I'm low on our kicking situation, man. This is.
Oh, we have one. We have a kicking situation.
If you want to call it a situation, right?
Yeah.
It's bad, man. Our boy got waived today in favor of Brett Maher. Maher, I think the stats last season, he went 20 of 30 for Dallas when he or the year before when he kicked for us when Greg Zuerlein was out. I mean, 66% ain't it, man. Yeah. Iralahu, there's a reason he's a journeyman, bouncing all around, and I just I don't know, man. It cost us about this before. We talked about this last episode.
It cost us 3 games.
It cost us at least 3 games. At least 3 games. The Bucs game, the Raiders game, and we need to get this shit under control. And we were really, really spoiled with Dan Bailey for a few years there. We knew that, a 47-yard kick, we walk away from the TV, man. We know he's going to make it.
Yeah.
And now, every single kick past 30 yards is like we're looking at the TV like, oh shit, are we gonna get these 3 points, or is it gonna be another wasted drive? So I really wish could solve that and get somebody in here who's gonna be reliable, but there's not that many options out there. So hope Hiralahu has hit all of his kicks 2 days in a row. Hopefully he's getting into a groove. We've yet to see it in the game situation. So let's see how they split up the kicks between Hiralahu and Maher in our 3 preseason games, and we go from there.
Well, I was going to say, for as bad as Maher looked 2 years ago with Dallas, last season he did, I think it was 16 of 18, which is 18 is not a huge sample size, but it's enough to show, look, man, this guy may have got it together. Now, why he wasn't on the team going to training camp, I honestly don't know. I really don't. I think he has the potential to get back to the kicker that he once was, right? And I mean,
but with the kicker position,
he went 16 of 18 last season with New Orleans, but I did see today that his longest kick with New Orleans was 42 yards.
But you see, the thing about it is, I also saw some numbers with Maher coming into the season before that. He was 60% for his career.
Yeah.
60% for his career, and then he was 80%, last year, kicking where the fuck he was. I don't give a fuck about any of these one of these motherfuckers. You know what I want to do? I want to wait till the 53-man roster is being cut. No. Look, I'm gonna give you 2 things here. Okay, the reason I'm not too fucking scared about this is because the one thing that I loved last year was going for it on 4th down. Because this is an awesome fucking offense. And then sometimes you look at Mike McCarthy's dumbass, and he was sitting there going, okay, timeout, no timeout, run the lamp. There's no lamp. What the fuck? Seriously. So what I think the kicking game being weak might be a little bit of, hey, you remember sometimes we were going, he's going to let Legatron kick a 50-yarder?
Yeah.
Like the motherfucker missed a 30-yarder. What? Oh, he's better with more distance. I don't want to hear that shit anymore. Mm-hmm. So having both of these fucking training wheel kickers might be a good thing in a sense.
Absolutely.
Well, I wake up every morning and I thank God that Mike McCarthy took that year off to become a fucking expert in analytics and in game situations, because if it wasn't for that, man, I mean, how many 4th and 1s are we kicking the borderline of the kicker's range instead of, when analytics says that, 77% of the time it's better to go for it on that 4th and 1, so I love Mike McCarthy. I'm so glad he's our head coach.
Well, the other thing about all this aspects with these kickers right now, you have kicking competitions in every camp. You got the guy who's the incumbent, the guy who can make the kicks, and then you got somebody that's going to come in to give him competition, unless your last name is Tucker. All right. But the thing about this is I would just wait as the Cowboys, and this is probably what we're going to do. You just wait till all the other fat is trimmed from the rosters. Wait till that 53-man roster is about to be set, and they got those 2 kickers that they're not sure about. Any team in the NFL, somebody's going to have them. They're going to have 2 kickers that are just as good, and they can't make a decision on it, and they're going to cut one of them. Do your research a little bit and go pick that motherfucker up. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. Don't bring in the kicker from fucking San Jack fucking Jacinto who's kicked 20 out of 20 in college. Fuck this bullshit.
Go get that guy. Hell yeah. Absolutely.
So one of these guys today, one of the 5 kickers that they brought in or whatever, right?
Yeah.
They talked about today that he was actually on the Packers practice squad for like a year and a half.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
So because
due to
the COVID situation, right? Yeah. So
yeah, he was Crosby's 3rd leg.
Yeah.
I gotta say.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. All right, man. Well, let's move on a little bit, man, because we got something I wanna bring up, man. Stephen Jones, about a week ago, was on the ticket, the Fort Worth Dallas Fort Worth ticket, and he said that they have not had contract extensions with Tony Pollard, and that as they move forward, they have to do their due diligence at the running back position and the cap. But the goal is to get Tony or TP back here next year, man. We all know Zeke's contract didn't set the market, and it looks like it's bad contractually for the team, dog, to be honest with you. So I want to ask y'all this, man. Do you think next year this team gets back to the standard, which is devaluing the running back position, man, and they look to the draft and or maybe even give Rico Dotto a shot or somebody like that, man. But do you want to sign Tony Pollard?
I don't want to give Rico Dowdle a shot or guys like that. I don't want to go that route because that just brings me nightmares of Darren Hambrick. Okay. I don't want to do that type of shit. Yeah. It does, man. You know, let's not do that. Let's not do the whole, well, the line's good, so draft somebody in the first to third rounds. That's what I want. Yeah. Going forward. Do what we've been doing at the wide receiver position. Now, there was a stop there because Zeke, I mean, when they talk about it not setting the market, it didn't. But what he was holding us to at the time, I mean, if everybody remembers, Tony Pollard was not this Tony Pollard. We tried to feature him in the preseasons, and it didn't really work out. It didn't
really work. That's right. I mean, there was plenty of conversations, at least between us and on our podcast on Talking Boys with the Boys, when we were like, Tony Pollard can't handle a full load like Zeke can. I mean, we really, really went there with it. You know what I'm saying? But right now, all reports are saying Tony Pollard looks like, you know what I'm saying? Like he's running back one. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, and if you get creative with the offense, the whole thing that we all talk about, but it's kind of a misnomer sometimes is Zeke's blocking, right? Zeke's blocking. But if you do something in the scheme, and let's say, I don't know, Kellen, wherever the linebacker's coming from, have Tony Pollard run by that motherfucker. It doesn't matter if he blocks him or not. He's leaving somebody open. You know what I'm saying? You can get creative with this shit, and it doesn't have to be, well, Zeke needs to be in there to protect Dak. It's like, man, there's so many different things you can do with Tony Pollard.
Yep.
And last time I checked, Dak's pretty good against the rush.
Yes.
Number one,
actually. I just think that Dallas, they don't view Tony Pollard as a lead back. You know, even with Zeke in there, you know, they haven't given Pollard that much run, and I think there's a reason for it. You know, he's the lightning to Zeke's thunder, right? He's the one that comes in, he changes the pace of the game. He hits those outside runs with speed. He even hits the inside runs with speed. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he creates a mismatch. You know, these defensive players, you know, you hit them with Zeke, and then you come in with boom, you know, and they're not adjusted to the speed. But I don't see the Cowboys giving him a contract. If you look at history, not just with the Cowboys, but you have these guys who their role is the change of pace back, right? They come in, you've got a lead back, they come in and they do something different for the offense. So I think the last time one of our change of pace backs was signed to a big contract was Marion Barber, right? And what happened to him in that first season? His efficiency plummeted when he was charged as being the number one back. You know, he was better in that secondary role to come in and get the hard yards, you know, come in at the goal line, come in and, you know, because we had kind of a speed back in Julius Jones. And then you bring Marion Barber in, and he's this physical guy who's going to run over you. He's going to hit you hard. And he couldn't withstand that throughout the whole game. Mm-hmm. So I see a similar situation with Pollard here. And I really think Dallas, like Mark said, is they're just going to resort to the draft to fill that hole. And I don't see Zeke or Pollard on this team next season.
Let me say this real quick, fellas. Didn't we see the same situation with Mark Ingram and Kamara with the Saints?
You know, the thing is, people compare Tony Pollard to Kamara. I mean, I know everybody loves to do that, but at the same time, I really don't, guys. I don't. In a sense, yes, but I still have yet to see that wiggle out of Tony Pollard that Kamara is known for. Okay, seriously, there's short area quickness that you do not disrespect Kamara for.
Yeah,
I mean, seriously, man, there's a certain short area quickness that he has that you can't disrespect him for. Tony Pollard has yet to show me that. He has yet to show me that type of short area quickness. Now, when he takes one cut and goes, he's shot out of a cannon. There's nobody better. But, you know, he kind of reminds me more of DeMarco Murray than Alvin Kamara. Not the power, but DeMarco was one cut and go. He wasn't one cut wiggle and go. That's what Tony reminds me of. And a lot of people go, well, you know, damn, we wish Tony Pollard was our lead back. We've tried to make him our lead back in the past. It just didn't quite work out. Somebody tell me when we said, here it is, Tony, it's your show, and he was balling with it, and then we took it away. That's never happened from my last time I checked. You know, so the narrative is, man, he needs to be the lead back, but I'm going, he needs to be the lead back, but I'm going, does he?
Well, I would love to see a point where you know, Pollard is there. We draft running back. Zeke, thank you for everything you've done. But Zeke's gone, right? His contract's off the books. We got a rookie running back. We got Pollard. Not to make his nipples get hard again, but Mark did say, I forget which week it was last season, that Tony Pollard was not going to be re-signed. And when he said it, I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I was like, don't do that to me, Mark. He's like, I'm just saying. He said that, and I was like, damn. And now, if you ask me to believe anything Stephen Jones says, nope, I ain't gonna fall for that. So I do think Zeke is gone after this season, and I do 100% think they're going to draft a running back. And I don't mean in the 7th round, just a guy who's going to just get thrown away. Like a legit running back that this guy can come in and take significant snaps. I just hope that Pollard is also there to be a part of that committee. I don't know if he is. I hope he is, but it's kind of on the wall. I don't know.
I put a tweet about this recently when I was talking about it. Right after Stephen made his comments, I said one of two things going to happen. They're either going to DeMarco Murray his ass and give him the ball if he has success, and they're going to ride it till they can until the wheels fall off, and they ain't going to re-sign him. Or they're going to do what they did last year. He's going to have some more success, maybe feed him a little bit more, have this dude at top 3 or 5 in the league at his position, and then low ball.
But the funny thing about that is, say they do, quote, use him up. Do you know how good offense could possibly look with Tony Pollard in an expanded role? And I'm not saying taking 25 carries a game, leading the league. I'm not saying all that. I'm saying rushing the ball and receiving the ball. And a lot of people forget about that. He is such a good receiver out of the backfield. This guy has to get 80 to 85 catches a year is beyond me. Like, I don't know why he doesn't get that. Like, he's explosive out of the backfield.
My thing with Tony, dog, is you're gonna by putting let's say we give him that kind of workload, right? Even split it 50-50 with Zeke, right? Which we all feel like he might deserve. A lot of Cowboys Nation feels like he deserves that. But when you do things like that and you put him in quote unquote like a premier kind of a running back position, that drives the price up. We all know this front office ain't trying to drive that price up, dog. They did it with Gallup. You know what I'm saying? They're not trying to drive that price up, dude. So, I mean, we're on the hook for some money with guaranteed money with Zeke, man. After this season, I think we could be looking at a whole new fucking backfield. That's just my opinion on it, man. But yeah, I don't. The thing with Pollard, man. When it's all said and done, and Mark said this as well on another episode that we had, was they're not, like I said earlier, or like I just said a few minutes ago, they're not going to drive that price up for him, though. You know what I'm saying? And then expect to have negotiation with the guy, dog. You know what I'm saying?
No, but what if they showcase him with the thought like in their head that he's already halfway door, right? So let's just use him. Let's just use him up. Yeah, we'll try to resign him. Well, probably not. And let's just use them up. Like, I want to see this offense with heavy dose to Tony Pollard. Like, that's all I want to see. Rushing the ball and receiving the ball. And I just don't know why Kellen Moore and Fat Mike can't figure that shit out. I know who could, though. Sean Payton, 2023.
Well, you know, sometimes with that, what happens is, I think what happened last year wasn't the sense of a conscious effort to not get Tony Pollard more involved. People always think of it like as we're going to get Zeke involved as compared to getting Tony involved. The way games go sometimes, and the way the flow of the game goes, they were forcing it to Zeke at times, and it just kind of X'd out Tony. To be honest with you, it's not that they didn't use him enough. It's just that sometimes the flow of the game didn't call for his specific abilities, and then that got carried away with. You know, that's what I really think more than happened.
Yeah.
I mean, he did show out when given the chance. You know, look at he saved us in the Saints game because the offense was pretty stagnant until he broke that 50-some yard run up the left sideline. You know, he showed what he can do. But like I said earlier, I think it comes in spurts. I don't think you can really, you know, trot Pollard out with the first team and give him, you know, 25 carries a game. I don't think he's that type of guy.
But like, let's say he has a a bill on his helmet next season or the season after that. Does anybody think he's really going to lead the league in rushing?
No,
I
don't.
So they're not going to pay him.
Because they're not going to pay him.
That's what I'm saying. If they view it as half of it the line, they're not going to pay him. They're not going to pay him. They're just not. He could lead the league in rushing. They're not going to pay him.
Yeah, facts. And for me, dog, I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like I said, man, I'm with you. I'm with you, Dreezy. Run them to the ground, man. How many guys have we done that to? But you can't. I mean, now it's pick your poison. Are you going to run Zeke into the ground? You know what I mean? Because you can actually get out of that contract next year as well. Or the guy that's in the contract year, which is TP. I mean, which guy are you going to go with? You know what I mean? So I believe they're going to kind of do a committee thing. Well, I don't even, you know what? Fuck it. They're not doing a committee thing. Zeke, I think Zeke is the guy. You know what? I feel like a lot of people are probably like, I don't know how they, and we hear the reports. They don't really just be like, Jerry goes in there and says, give the ball to Zeke. Fuck that. You paid that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
The kind of use they're going to put on Zeke, yes. I say his shit pops about 5 or 6 games in.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to be, not trying to be fucking funny with it or nothing, to be honest with you. I'm not.
Yeah,
but when you look at the injury he had, whether we'll know about it or not, the PCL, it's just a step away from being an ACL. You know, it really is. And I think that the way Jerry views it in his fucking devil mind is this: we paid you. We snap your knee. We snap your knee. If he dies, he dies.
If he dies, he
dies. It goes the way the Jones wanted to go most of the time, right? So, like you said, Mark, hey, they paid him. They're going to run him into the ground.
Yeah.
They're going to make him earn his money. You know, I don't know if there's any kind of injury clause in his contract or something like that gets Dallas out of the guaranteed money, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was.
Yep. I wouldn't be surprised either, man. But, I mean, it is what it is. I don't know if guys, man, I just know this, dog. Hopefully, use them both up, man, and it takes us to the promised land. That's all I can say about the situation, man. But yeah, fellas, I guess we've been on here for a hot ass minute, man. So you already know how it goes, man. Let's go ahead and call it a night, dog. I got some food downstairs waiting for me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I've been sipping on that TX, baby. You know how it goes, man. But yeah, dog. I'm Adam White. I'm your host. Y'all know where y'all can find me at, man. On Twitter, @HopDeVille. Hey, y'all know what? Go follow us on IG too. Talking Boys with the Boys. And go follow us and go subscribe. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel at official Talking Boys with the Boys, man. We're gonna get better at this thing, y'all. Trust me. And we're gonna take this shit over. So yeah. Hell yeah. Y'all know where y'all can find me at, man. Like I said, on Twitter, talking that shit, baby. And fuck the Eagles.
Mark D at Mark D's Corner. Facebook, don't fuck with too much. Just come and holler at me on Twitter, man. You're on mute, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just showing you what the guy looks like. I'm that boy Dreezy.
Robotico. We call him Robotico.
Robotico.
No, that's Mario.
Not lately.
Dog, why do I look like a skinny silent dog?
Hell yeah.
Well, Mario, you can find me on Twitter at Mario Powers Up. And like Adam said, go subscribe on all platforms. Go find us. Y'all sneak peek, guys. We got an official Talking Boys with the Boys Facebook group coming up pretty soon. So y'all pay attention. We'll get the invites going out. We'll get up.
Yeah.
We'll see. What's up? Y'all go subscribe there.
Let's do this.
Man. Hey, everybody out there, man. Thank you for rocking with Talking Boys with the Boys. And let me say this one time. If you ain't fucking with Talking Boys with the Boys cartel, you ain't with the squad.
Yo.